What's up, YouTubers? A year ago we did an anime tier list video. I had 25 random anime picked out and ranked them up with my friend Ironzaku. And since then that video has been slowly blowing up like mad. It's become one of my, at the moment, most popular videos. It's a video that's close to my heart. I really enjoy doing it. My friend Ironzaku really enjoyed it. And I thought, since it's the first year anniversary since we've had that video released, let's do it again! So, without further ado, Ironzaku, reveal yourself.
And just like that, I have returned.
Welcome back, Ironzaku. Welcome to another anime tier list video. Anyway guys, just like last time, for those who haven't seen the last video, what we did is we went onto my anime list and hit the random button in order to pick out the anime for this list. But unlike last time, where my anime list was completely throwing me under the bus, this time my anime list wanted me to do an off-brand edition. I couldn't believe how much hentai actually appeared, but yes, my anime list wanted me to do a hentai edition. So I made a deal with it.
We all know where this is going.
So I made a deal with my anime list. I put one of the suggestions it kept giving me on the list. In return, please give me the rest of the anime. And of course, it gave me very obscure ones. You'll know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't even know these anime. It's going to be really fun to try and explain these, so that's going to be fun. And just like last time, guys, there are rulings. When it comes to these anime, if they've got a second season, we will include the second season. Unless the second season is set in its own storyline. For example, the Pokemon series, even though it's one big, long, continuous story, a lot of people see it split up between like the Kanto stories, the Johto stories, and etc. But anime that continue on, like SAO to SAO 2, we will see as a linked, unless people really want us to abandon that rule. So that ruling out of the way, there's only one thing I've got left to ask. Ironzaku, how nervous are you for our second ever anime tier list video?
I mean, judging by some of the selections you've chosen, I'm honestly not surprised.
I chose it! My anime list chose!
I mean, yeah, but you've still included them on the list, so you're both are to take the blame. So let's get right into this, shall we?
Yes, we shall. But before we start, we may as well go over the tiers that we got right here. Starting from the top, we've got Masterpiece. These are animes that I absolutely love. We see no fault with them, we can really enjoy them, and we can continue watching them over and over again. We then have Amazing. These are amazing anime. Yes, we can find fault, but we can still enjoy those faults even though we can see them. We then have Good, just like that. They're good animes. We might forget about them, but it's still pretty good. Watchable. We can tolerate watching them. Yes, we can forget about them, but we still have fun watching them when they come into our minds that they exist. And finally, Never Again. It's clear as day. We've watched them. We never want to see them again. They can burn in hell. Get it out of our minds. We will never, in any sort of media, watch these anime. Alright, the first one we're going to get into is Eldian on the Sky. A military anime.
Not suggested by the genre, but again, I've probably never seen this show, but I'll let you take it from here.
Alright. Well, like I said, it's a military anime, so we're mainly focusing on the army, where our main character, whose name I literally cannot remember, even though I rewatched the series not too long ago, is eventually been known to be the lazy general, who takes a scientific approach to the situations, where he tries to outthink the opponent rather than outmuscle. So he's pretty much one of those lazy characters who is extremely smart.
So basically, it's just like the character appears to be very, very dumb at first, but he's a lot more smarter than everyone thinks he is.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't really hide his brilliance, but it's like one of those people where they just hate him because they know he's right, but they just don't want to admit he's right. Yeah, but what makes this anime so unique is they actually use creatures known as like spirits. So you've got like a fire spirit, a water spirit, a light spirit. I don't know if it's like wind, earth, and darkness and all that, cause like the polar opposites. I don't think there are, but the three I can remember are light, fire, and water, which they can use in their own weapons. So an ordinary gun can become like a very powerful flashlight. They can use water spirits to give.
Judging by some of those powers you described, I was almost close to thinking of doing like an Avatar: The Last Airbender joke there.
It's like, yeah. It's almost. It's not really like an Avatar, but I can see where you're trying to go. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. Even the side characters are pretty memorable as well. Like, I want to say the main female lead, she uses like two swords. So she's like Kirito, but redhead.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And literally the first few episodes revolves around those two and the rest of the party rescuing the queen or the princess. It's one or two. I think it's the queen. I could be wrong. So, and it comes clear that the queen has developed feelings for our lazy scientists, protagonists.
Oh, really?
But she rarely appears in the series. It's mainly we mainly see our redhead, and we get backstory. Yeah. So that's literally all I can think to talk about. It's a pretty good story. It has a pretty good storyline. I do really like it myself. I mean, I had so much fun rewatching it. I just enjoyed the way our main character's way of thinking is literally be smarter, not stronger.
I like that approach. Definitely, I like the idea they might have presented here.
Yeah, and the ending literally like sets up season 2, but it's been so long since its anime's been out. It probably is wishful thinking asking for a season 2. I don't even know if there's enough material to make a season 2. I have not read the manga myself, but I would really want to read the manga. But then again, there's another anime on this list that's getting a season 2 not too long, but I'll go over it when we hit it. So, for now, just because of all that, I'm going to put it in Masterpiece. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed the themes of the story. I really liked the interactions with the characters. I liked how he solved problems. It's a really good anime in my opinion, and I recommend it to a lot of people if they can. Alright, the next one we're going to be looking at is a famous one, which I'm pretty sure Ironzaku here should know. Ghost Stories.
Oh yes, the one so legendarily known for its dub, should we say.
Would you like to tell our viewers the story or the plot?
I say we tag team this, like, you can discuss the plot first, and I'll go into the story about how the dub became how it is.
Alright, the story, this is as simple as I can put it, guys. A family involving a girl and a younger brother move back to where their parents grew up. She eventually rolls into this school who has an abandoned school building. When they go in, they find out that their mother used to work there and find there's a hidden past for her mother. She eventually finds a diary. Evil spirits wake up, and it's up to her and her new friends to reseal those spirits her mother once sealed away.
And that's basically the summary of the plot of the story for Ghost Stories, literally. And now we get to the story of how its English dub became very well known. Okay, so I'll try to make it as short as possible. when it first debuted in Japan in its original format, it wasn't received well, and many criticized it for being a bit boring and slow at the time. So when it was given to a dub studio to, redub it into English, the company responsible for Ghost Stories literally just told them, "Hey, do whatever you want with it." And well, what they made in the end is known by many to be one of the most entertainingly funniest English dubs to an anime at the time.
I can absolutely agree with you on that. Ghost Stories is one of the most funniest animes I've ever seen, just because it literally elevates everything to an 11, making it one of the most. What's the what's the words that we can use?
I would probably describe it as offensively funny in the best way possible.
It's a product of its time, pretty much. This is an anime you don't want to watch in front of your family for good reasons.
Unless you want to shock them on purpose.
Yeah, unless you really want them to be in shock. This is probably a good one for the Karens. This is good fuel for them, pretty much. They
God,
literally
imagine what happens if you show up to a Karen. You know what would happen.
they'll blow up.
Yeah, and if I had to give a odd comparison, you know that one scene from that classic film Wizard of Oz where the Wicked Witch is melting after water is chucked on her? That's basically what would happen to a Karen if they ever saw the show. They would just be melting to death.
There's so much they've done to the characters that makes this story very interesting. In the Japanese, one of the side characters is extremely spiritual, like she has a connection to the spirits and all that, so she can sense them. In the dub, they make him extremely Christian. And may I say, she's so religious it hurts.
Yeah, do you expect her to say a lot of Christian allegories from time to time?
One of the lines that I literally use for memes is that she says, it's like, "You guys are so brave. Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior?"
Oh, definitely. I remember that. It made me laugh out at the time.
Oh god, it's so. And one of the things I don't know how to feel is they made the younger brother mentally challenged.
Oh, I'm just remembering those moments as well.
And this is literally a time I'm pretty sure the voice actors couldn't think of what to put, so they just added in a bunch of babbling noise.
A lot of it.
Alright, we gotta start ranking ghost stories. We gotta rank it now. We've done a very good talk about it. I think
I mean, I would argue that it could either potentially be either amazing or masterpiece if we're going to push it just because of the dub.
yeah, but I think this current time that we're in, a lot of people wouldn't really call it a masterpiece because, as you say, it's very racial. It pushes a bit too much.
And I
It's
would honestly make the argument that it weirdly benefits the show for it because it makes it all the more memorable.
yeah. So for that, I would agree putting in masterpiece. It's something I'll definitely rewatch. It's definitely something I can see my friends watching, laughing our heads off. But watch with
I can
caution.
imagine, yeah, I can imagine you and your bros that if you know about this particular anime, you just get together, get your beers, and have a good time. At how absolutely hilarious it can get.
Yeah. Alright guys, the next one is the one I had to make a deal with my anime list to start giving me anime. We're going to be talking about Overflow.
I mean, look at the photo that we used to describe Overflow. It speaks 1,000 words.
We can't deny it. This is off-brand. This is hentai. So, sit back and enjoy me.
How the heck are we going to discuss this?
Well, sit back and enjoy me trying to explain this. Overflow
And me
involves.
likely losing his mind.
Alright, the story starts off with our main character going home, and he explains that he's now living with his two best friends who he considers as sisters. So, he of course says their name and adds in like Ne-chan on the end. Um, as you can imagine, these are very beautiful women, even he can deny it, but he sees them as sisters. They tease him, and eventually, accidental shenanigans evolve. He starts to see them in a new light, and of course, they start to get happy, happy fun times.
That's one way to describe it.
That's the only way I can think of describing it.
Although
So,
now that you say it, like happy, happy fun times, I'm just thinking of that song that sounded similar from like a childhood cartoon I watched from Ren and Stimpy. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
So yeah, in every episode, our main character gets happy, happy fun time with one of the girls. There is a story based around it, like consequences of actions. They can't look at each other the same way, but they start to accept it and add it into their normal daily lives. Oh God, what the hell am I saying?
You're saying many things and describing the plot.
So that's the story of Overflow. What else is there to talk about when it comes to this hentai? The art style? Actually, yeah, the art style of Overflow is actually quite good compared to a lot of other hentai that's out there. It's really good. I mean, if you take a non happy fun time scene out of context from this anime, a lot of people would actually think it's like a proper anime because the art style is that good.
Oh, that would be like a quote to put on the box. Beautiful to watch.
True, yeah. But again, it's hentai. Can you really say that it is fun to watch?
I
Um,
mean, I can predict that some people watching this are going to judge you either way, depending on how you rank this. So prepare yourself.
right, I'm gonna put this in amazing. It is a fun one to watch. The art style is amazing. I enjoy it. I stayed for the plot, the actual plot line of this, not the other plot.
Of course you would.
It's really good. I love the girls. They could be part of my I would honestly see the girls as waifu material. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it amazing and leave it at that before I dig myself into a giant hole. Alright, the next one we're gonna be looking at is The Devil's a Part-Timer.
I think I might have heard about this somewhere, but I never really like watched the show in my spare time. So I'll have to leave it to you.
Alright, well, I may as well say, at the time of this recording, The Devil's a Part-Timer Season two's date has been confirmed. It should be a few days after this video's released as well, so all we can talk about at the moment is Season 1. We'll probably talk about Season 2 in a future list after it's been complete. So we're only going to stick with the material for Season 1. Now, The Devil's a Part-Timer's plot, it's like a reverse isekai. The devil's in a magical land, also known as the Demon King. He gets he retreats into our world, where he loses all his power, and eventually has to take a job at McDonald's. I wish I was kidding. The devil works at McDonald's.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, we are not sponsored by them.
No, hashtag not sponsored, but wish we could be. So yeah, and plot twist, he loves his job at McDonald's. And the heroes of the other worlds even go and find him, but they eventually join our world as well. So yeah, that's the plot of The Devil's a Part-Timer.
And I can predict that a lot of shenanigans ensue, I guess.
Yeah, it is a fun anime. I really enjoy it. It's very funny. There is good action scenes. I like that there's a language for the other world. They don't speak Japanese in the other world. They speak this whole like other language. Luckily, they translate it for us so we can understand what on earth they're saying.
Otherwise, we'll just be left scratching our heads.
Pretty much, and we just have to figure out from what we see. I love that they still use this language when they first appear in our world, and all the police are just thinking they're cosplayers and they're just really adept in the role. All they're doing is they're trying to talk to them, saying that they'll bow before us. It's just funny how we're just like, okay, get in the car.
Definitely.
But yeah, it is an anime I would recommend someone to watch if they want some fun laughs. I don't know why I was going to say the Happy Hour Fun Times, but it's not one of those animes.
Thank God, but I'm likely going to predict we're going to get to those probably later on again.
Anyway, uh, yeah, but you said you've heard of this anime before?
Like I said, I have heard of Devil's a part-time worker, but I never seen it, so I'll let you rag this one off.
Uh, well, as much as I say it's amazing, I'm probably gonna, yeah, I'm gonna stick it in amazing. It is a good anime. I really recommend it. It's getting a season 2, which a lot of people are extremely happy about, and I really can't wait to see what season 2 is gonna be like. Alright, the next one on this list is a huge crossover anime, Isekai Quartet. And its crossover materials are Konosuba, ReZero, Overlord, and Tanya the Evil. All 4 anime which we already tiered in our other tier list video.
Thank God that I have some knowledge of some of these animes as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what I'd be stepping myself into.
Yeah. Yeah, at the time of this recording, guys, we did say we're going to get Ironzaku into watching Konosuba. He's watched it, and would you agree with the ranking we put in our previous video where we put Konosuba?
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with the placing of Konosuba after seeing it for myself down the line.
And at the time of this recording, I believe season 3 has been announced, so we'll be watching that as well. But getting back to Isekai Quartet, the plot is simple. All characters in their own respective animes find this button, accidentally press it, and get transported into this 5th world where they all attend high school, and you can just imagine what happens from there. They all interact with each other, and it's so great to see that, especially since these 4 isekais are being pretty much famous within the isekai fandom.
Oh, definitely, especially with how it crosses over with those many Isekai properties as well. And if I recall correctly as well, later on in that show, they do get more other Isekai animes that are popular as well for this crossover, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. In season 2, they do bring in the Rising of the Shield hero and the Cautious hero, 2 other isekais which got very popular. Although Cautious hero's got 1 season, and Shield hero is soon to be getting a 3rd season. 2 very good isekais in my opinion. I really enjoyed them, and I hope to rank them one day. But back to Isekai.
Well, if I ever get to see them.
Yeah. But back to Isekai Quartet. The relationship with the characters is so amazing. I like the fact they chibified all these characters to blend to make sure there's no cross between art styles, because I think all 4 have different art styles. I don't know if
mostly I believe the art styles between those shows are significantly different from each other personally.
Yeah. And I just love how they show the strengths between the characters. Like in Overlord, we know Ironzaku is one of the most powerful characters in that anime. No other character can match his certain power. But in one episode, we literally learn there's one character in each other isekai anime whose powers can, theoretically, scale to his, which I find quite amusing.
So, with all that being discussed about Isekai Quartet and how I haven't seen that anime yet, I suppose the most interesting thing we have to do now is rank it.
Mm. For now, I'm gonna put it in amazing. As much as I love it so much, and I love the crossovers with the anime, there is a movie coming out soon. I'm really excited to see that. I can't wait to see how it will link to the storyline if it does. The, I do really. I'm itching it towards Masterpiece, but I really want to wait until the movie comes out or potential season 3 comes out to see how's it gonna go, and I'd love to see how it would all end because clearly all four of of the groups need to return to their worlds, and I'd love to see how that ends. If it ends great, then it will instantly be shot up to Masterpiece, but it all depends upon how it ends. Alright, the next one we're going to be looking at is one I feel like I'm going to be struggling quite a bit to talk about. Hyperdimensional Neptunia.
I'm sure you know what I'm going to say next.
You haven't seen it.
Yeah, bang, right on the head.
Well, here's why I'm going to struggle talking about it. Hyperdimensional Neptunia is mainly a gaming series. They're all video games. The whole story plot are in video games, and I have not played a single one. I want to. I really want to play them on Twitch, and then eventually put them on YouTube. Let me know if you guys want me to play them. So I don't really know how I can explain it, especially since this anime is literally placed right in the middle of the gaming franchise. So you're kind of expected to know these characters and their backstory, what they do and all that, but you do eventually learn throughout the anime if you pay attention. So I'm gonna try to explain. I'm gonna try and explain. The plot revolves around Neptune, our main character, and the leader of her town, city, island. I don't know what it is. And she makes an alliance with the other three gaming nations, and it revolves around all four working together to solve each other's problems, eventually even taking on their biggest enemy. And then
And that is
someone who doesn't like them ruling over their nations and try and eliminate them, try and become like the big ruler over all of them.
well, I can definitely see.
Yeah, I'm really trying to explain it, but yeah, that's like one of the enemies' pretty much overall plan. I don't want to really explain how she does it because I feel like that's like a big part of the anime, how she does it.
I mean,
I
when it
probably
comes to like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm thinking too much, but maybe she's not a bigger threat as the anime places it. I haven't played the video games. I don't know if she appears in the games, so I don't really know how I can even talk about her.
I mean, when it comes to like gaming animes, the only one that I have the most experience with, as far as my knowledge is concerned, is Overlord, which we previously discussed.
Mm.
So with Hyperdimensional Neptunia, the only time I've heard about this franchise is that I remember a couple of years ago when I was like reading gaming magazines, and it was mentioned in one of them, but I never thought much about it since.
Mm.
However, considering how it's your list, I'm gonna let you rank it to,
Yeah.
move on.
I will say one thing though, which I later on learned when looking at a fact video, which I really like. All the planetoons, I believe the leaders are called, are based upon gaming systems. So we've got one based upon the Xbox, we've got one based upon the PlayStations, we got one based upon uh, the Nintendos. As for Neptune, I believe she's based upon like a discontinued console from a fourth gaming company, but I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head. Which I just find very interesting. So in a way, this franchise is basically talking about gamers and how even though we're all different, we're all still gamers. If that makes sense.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I do not know off the top of my head if there's a PC Plantoon. There probably is one. I just probably haven't met her yet.
I believe so. So, with that out of the way, I don't really have much to comment, truth be told.
No,
Considering how I don't have much knowledge on Hyperdimension Neptunia.
I can't really think of what to really say. Again, I have not played any of the games, so I can't really contribute. But if I have to base it solely on the anime, it's going into good. Who knows, maybe if I play the games, my opinions of it would shoot up, because then I'll be more in depth with the characters, be able to understand them a bit more. But until then, it's in good. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed watching it. I love the gaming references that they do, but I don't really have that much connection with these characters, because again, and the whole franchise is mostly in game form, not anime form. Alright, the next anime, guys, we're going to be looking at is one that I'm pretty sure my MLS really wanted me to talk about. Kiss Sis.
What the fuck is this? I mean, I never even heard of this, and now you bring it to me, and I'm just shocked hearing that title.
Compared to all the other titles that we've done in the last one, Kiss Sis is the one that stuns you.
I mean, you know, there's so many. What the fuck?
Right. I'm going to enjoy this. Here's the plot. Basically, our main character, Kenchi, or Kentakun, is, when he was young, he hanged around with two girls who, looked after him. So when they were young, they had a really strong bond. Growing up, their parents, so Kenta's dad and the sister's ma, remarried, so they became step-siblings. But the two girls still really liked him, and he really liked them. Eventually, over time, he convinced himself that it's not right, because they're now step-siblings. But one day, the father turned around and went, "Of course it's okay, you're step-siblings. Go ahead, have fun, have a relationship." So, yeah, the girls really like that and continue to try and get his attention. Eventually, it's time for him to go to school. But he can't bear the thought, secondary school, and he basically doesn't like the thought of other guys going after his stepsisters. So he tries to go to the same school as them, and they try and help him while also trying to get him to like them.
This is just basically like that meme, "What are you doing, step bro?" The anime.
Except it's now, what are you doing, stepsister?
Okay, a lot to unpackage from that one.
Here's more for you. It's the entire story is split between the OVA and the TV series. Of course, you know the OVA takes it to more extremes, but even the TV series takes it to extremes as well. If you guys want to know,
where, I'm guessing it goes to the point of happy fun times.
no, it's not a hentai. It doesn't go that far. But yes, it does go to happy fun times.
In a way.
But yeah, as I said, it does have a TV series and an OVA series, which takes part in the same time. But it's okay to watch them separately. Just keep in mind that you're supposed to watch them together. So yeah, I may as well say I do know the names of the sisters. It's Ako and Riko. And they're complete polar opposites. So, like, Ako is, she has good housewives material. She can cook, she's good at, her studies. But her sister, Riko, my god, she's thirsty, she's good at sports. She's basically like one of those girls where, she's got her eyes on the person she loves, but if anyone else tries to have eyes for her, she will kick them away.
I'm still taking time to absorb all that in, you know. I mean, what else could I say about what you just described?
Well, they're step siblings. There's nothing wrong with that. Even the father agrees. Even the mother agrees.
Well, I guess they all have their kinks, I suppose. I mean, I, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Just how are you gonna write this?
I'm gonna say one more thing. Even though they take things to the extreme, they do things. They do things in a big way to get their man's attention. I can't help but see it as wholesome. I mean, they loved each other when they were little. The girls know what they want. They have good intentions for why they're doing it. They sometimes can't help themselves. They really want their man's attention.
I can definitely tell.
So it's wholesome etchiness. That's a thing now. It's wholesome
etchiness.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I have no idea what else to say now.
Well, I do. I'm going to be putting it in amazing. Because to me, this anime is amazing. I've bought the DVD set for both the TV series and the OVA series. And I love it. I really do love Kiss It.
You literally bought them on DVD?
Yes. I live alone, so I'm allowed to watch them on my TV with no problems.
Well, I mean, it's not surprising anymore.
And I secretly want a season 2 and an OVA 2 of this franchise. I want to see them like go through school together. How they're gonna come back. Does Kensha make an option of which of the sisters to go out with? Does it end up into a three-way relationship? I do not know if that would work since they're both sisters, but there is such a thing as three-way relationships in these days of age. Or does he choose one of the side character girls, which I haven't even touched upon, but good luck with them.
I suppose now's the time to move on to our next topic, isn't it?
Yep. Let's save your brain.
Yeah, the brain cells are dying left and right.
The next one we're going to be looking at is Mayo Chiki.
Mayo Chiki.
Yep. So, Mayo Chiki, we mainly have to talk about our main female lead. So, let's start. In the school, we got a celebrity, like royalty. I forgot which of the two, but like she has to have a butler with her. So our main character goes to the toilet when the butler had to go to the toilet. He accidentally went to the same stall as the butler and learns that the butler guy is actually a girl who's pretending to be a guy.
Oh, that's quite a twist.
Yeah, because apparently only males can be butlers, but she really wanted to protect her friend, so she had to pretend to be a he to be the butler, to be by her side. It's also involving family, but I think that's just a bit complicated. Anyway, so he promises to keep her secret that she has to pretend to be a he, but the entire school thinks that those two have a bit more of a connection, so rumours go around that he's gay for the butler. Eventually, she starts opening up to him, even being more of a girl around him, even going out as a girl with him, and eventually like a romantic connection does evolve between those two.
Oh, I mean, not sure how I'm gonna not sure how I'm gonna say about this.
What? Yeah, it's very complicated, but it's also at the same time like just enjoyable. I mean, how can you explain a girl has to pretend to be a guy to be a butler, but she has feelings for this guy, but the rest of the school thinks she's a dude, so they all think they're gay. That already, I'm already lost. I'm just a.
I have nothing else to say on the matter of this. I really don't.
Well, I'm gonna say it's another wholesome story because of the fact that she's trying to keep the secret that she's a she, not a he, and he's trying to help. Even the master knows, starts to see a connection, and even she decides to have some fun with it, like loaning the butler services to our main character, who, keep in mind, knows that the butler's a girl, so you can just imagine the scenario there.
I can imagine many ways this could play out.
I'm probably making it more complicated than it should be, but I'm literally trying my best here. I don't think I can see anyone rationalize and explain this without giving away like the entire plot.
I
So
guess I'm going to have to blame my anime list for this, aren't I?
yes, you can't blame me this time. Yes,
For once. For once.
for once. Anyway, let's get to ranking. I'm gonna put it in amazing. It's a good story. I do love it. It's a story I would actually no. We're gonna put it down a bit. We're gonna put it in good. I say it's amazing, but at the same time, I'm like really struggling to remember some of the stories. Maybe it's because I haven't seen it in a long time. But if it's not really like memorable to me, I would only think it's good. If it's something that I'll completely throw in my head, it'll be watchable. But because I love it, I think it's a good story. I do think of it from time to time. I'm putting good.
Fair enough.
Alright, the next one is ORESUKI. Are you the only one who loves me?
An anime that I'm gonna predict is all about romance.
Yeah, but with a twist. It starts with our main character going on dates with his childhood friend and his club president, both on separate days. I may as well say so. One's on a Saturday, one's on a Sunday. They have a good time. They have an amazing day. He thinks they're going to confess their feelings to him on a bench, only for them to turn around and say they actually love his best friend and want his help. So he becomes extremely heartbroken. So much so that his character does a complete 180, goes from this guy who will think nicely, give them nicknames, and then literally dissects their characters and show how much narcissism there is for those characters. Eventually, he goes to the library, where the library student, who's nicknamed Punzi, enjoy that while you can,
I guess so.
eventually admits she has feelings for our main character, and eventually goes on to help him expose the girls, and eventually show them what they're doing is wrong, and even expose the best friend's true goal, so to speak, of who he wants. All while Pansy is trying to get a relationship with our main character.
Okay, so with all that out of the way, I I think you know what I'm gonna say next.
W2TF.
No, I was just gonna be more thinking something along the lines of leave the ranking to you because I again never seen this anime.
Well, it is a rom-com, but it leans more towards the comedy than it does with the romance. I love the way they set the story. It's very funny to me, especially when all three girls, the best friend, and our main character all have a backstory to when each other fell in love all at once. And literally the whole plot revolves around that story. Eventually, more characters come in who is linked to that story, and you eventually start, even the main character starts thinking, how on earth is this happening? How on earth is that a thing? Because it seems honestly impossible that all these characters are linked to the exact same story, when at the same time, none of them was interacting with each other with that story. It eventually got to the point where the north, south, east, and west entrances and exits were all covered by one of the characters, and even the main character is shocked, like, how is all 4 points covered? The entire building is completely sealed off with the story. And I haven't even got into what's possibly the best character in this entire story. Are you ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this.
Go on then, considering what I've heard so far.
The best character in this story is a bench.
Just a sitting bench.
Just a singular bench. This bench was involved with the girls admitting they loved his best friend. This bench was involved when Pansy confessed her feelings. This bench was involved in the school, on the roof. Every single time a character was revealing something heartfelt, this bench was there to give him a seat.
Just like that, I think we discovered the actual main protagonist of this anime. Just a goddamn bench.
Bench-kun to the rescue! I am literally not joking as well. There are videos on YouTube revolving around this bench.
I mean, to be fair, we also have like stuff like Truck-kun, so I wouldn't be surprised that you can make a character out of a bench.
Alright, let's get to ranking. I gotta say, yeah, the standout character is definitely Bench-kun, and because of that, it's going straight into Masterpiece. It's hilarious to me. I love the story. I can rewatch it, and it's only subbed as well. It hasn't got a dub release, and I really want a dub release for this anime. If it comes down to it, I'll do a fan dub. I'll get some people who will probably do some voices for me. I don't know though if
you have the resources.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna find someone who can easily match the sheer intensity of our bench though. But that'll probably have to be a silent role.
I mean, how the hell are you gonna make a bench talk though?
Alright, the next anime we're going to be having a look at is Rent a Girlfriend.
I mean, what else there is to say about what the anime is? It's there in the title, Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah, so here's the story. Our main character gets dumped and hurt very badly. He tries to see comfort and eventually gets the idea to rent a girlfriend. They go out on a date, but he doesn't enjoy it, so he gives her a bad review. Eventually they go out again. She tries to do better. He doesn't really appreciate it. You can blame the Ricochet of being dumped. Eventually they find out that their grandmothers know each other, think they're going out. They agree to pretend to go out for their grandmother's sake because it will break their hearts. And eventually the rent-a-girlfriend helps the guy get over his breakup and eventually try and make him a bit better. All while other shenanigans involved, like the ex eventually starts to see their relationship. Two more rental girlfriends get involved in this story. And that's all I'm going to say about the plot so far.
Quite intriguing with what you described as well. For anime that's all about renting a girlfriend. Literally.
I know, because you wouldn't really think that's a job application from us over here in the West, because I've never heard of a rented girlfriend until this anime came out. Did you know you can rent a girlfriend?
I believe so when it was from Japan and all, so
Yeah.
there is a business for that.
Yeah, I know in Japan you can like rent a mother, you can rent girlfriends, relationship partners, and all that. So I don't know. It was kind of shock to see for me, but also I find it quite like wholesome that she's going out of her way to help him and all that. But this anime to me, as popular as it is, it's not memorable to me. I watched it all the way through, but I just didn't really enjoy it as much as people gave it out to be. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch it season 2, but I thought it could. I don't know. I just don't really. I wasn't really like fully enjoying it.
So I'm gonna be predicting you're just gonna put it in watchable for once.
Possibly, yeah. I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying it's watchable. At least it's not a Never Again. I'll watch it, but to me, Rent a Girlfriend's not that good. Who knows? Maybe when season 2 comes out, I'll change my mind. It's probably because I haven't read the manga. I've only seen season 1, but there's so much better stories out there than Rent a Girlfriend. But I will get it on like DVD when it comes out, but again, it's something I'll probably not really watch.
Probably not anytime soon from the film.
Nah. Alright, the next one is Kanokon, the girl who cried fox.
Never seen this anime, but I'll let you take it away.
Alright. Well, our main character is a person in secondary school who's highly challenged. Literally, he looks like a child. That's how small he is. A girl who clings to him so much claims that she likes him a lot. And one day at the end of the school, she goes to confess her feelings for him in the music lab. And there she accidentally reveals that she's a fox spirit, a yokai to be precise. Eventually, another yokai appears and asks what on earth she's doing. She's progressing her love, and she reveals their connection by fusing with our main character, unleashing a giant fireball that proves that they are truly in sync, that they truly have feelings for each other. And the rest of the series is just them protecting their relationships from other yokais.
So many yokais.
Yeah. So yeah, that's seriously pretty much all the episodes. It's them protecting their relationship. It does have quite a few me moments, I gotta say.
And with the whole package that we discussed so far, I'm gonna predict that this would be somewhere in either good or amazing.
Yeah, there is fan service material in this. It's pretty good. There's some good action, but it's going and watchable. It's not that memorable to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I said, in every battle, they're literally just protecting the relationship. It's not really. I don't really feel like they're moving the plot that much along. I mean, literally, I watched the first episode and I was like, okay, I'm not going to continue this. I mean, I remember one time I watched the series all the way through, but I went through a phase where I was watching a lot more obscure anime, and I saw this meme evolve this anime, and I was like, okay, where's this meme appeared? And it turns out it was in a Christmas episode. I won't really jump to watch this again. There's so much better anime that involves relationships and action, but this one just felt a little bit boring to me. Alright, the next one, which is not boring to me, Kill la Kill.
Finally, something that I know about.
Yeah, it only took 2 videos and we finally got an anime he knows. And he's so happy about it.
Well, there was Ghost Stories before, but finally something I know and seen.
So, alright, would you like to explain the plot of Kill la Kill, or shall I?
More than welcome to, so here we go. So, For Kill la Kill, for this particular anime, we follow the main character of Ryuko Matoi, who goes out of her way to avenge the death of her father, who I believe was also killed by the main antagonist of the anime so far, called Satsuki, who really, really displays full authority at an academy that she works at.
Yep, so it's up to Ryuko to enter that school and scissor blade her way through to Saki. That sounds so
Well,
wrong, but it's also so accurate.
along the way, she even encounters a couple of very colorful characters, should we say, along with being able to synchronize with her companion for, well, her battle suit, should we just say.
Yeah, her suit is sentient, and it's known as a kamui that has to drink her blood in order to transform into this skimpy sailor suit that gives her supernatural strength and endurance.
While also dealing with opponents that wear powerful Goku uniforms that grant them different abilities along the way.
I think we did well explaining the plot.
Oh, definitely, as best as I could if I remember, because it's been a long while since I've seen Kill la Kill.
Yeah, yeah. But on to looking at Kill la Kill, its standing output for me is the comedy. It is hilarious.
Oh, definitely, with how one of the characters always like to break out into these monologue moments with Mako. I believe she's a very huge highlight.
Yeah, she's pretty much the comic relief character, and not a lot of people know this, but I know from Aki Dearest when she covered Kill la Kill, Mako is much more funnier in Japan because whenever she makes a joke, it's me- she mainly does visual gags, which is translatable better in Japanese than it is in English. So for us in England, we're watching her do these funny stance things, these poses and all that. But in Japanese, they have some humorous content behind them. That may be a bit of a bit of a satire with translation, but at the same time, you gotta realize it's it's anime. It's supposed to be in Japanese. Not everything can be fully translated into English and be understandable.
I mean, to give the show credit, I do think that its English dub for the voice actors do a pretty fantastic job, though. You got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I'll give him credit. The Kill la Kill dub was absolutely amazing. It was funny. They did translate a lot of the humor. They translated a lot of the emotion behind the characters, which is always a big win in my book.
Especially with how they even do like one of the characters, Irogama Gomi, really well, who is like this very huge bulking dude who makes quite an introduction in the first episode when he just barges into the classroom because someone stole the Goku uniform.
Yeah, that scene is literally so memorable to me. Which is why I'm pretty sure I have to say Kill la Kill to me is a masterpiece. I mean, it's even been translated into a game. I've got the game. I haven't played it yet. I know I should, and I really do want to. It's another game I want to play. Add it to the list of games I need to play. And I just really love Kill la Kill because of it.
I really enjoyed the show overall as well, but given its over the top nature, I will say this might be a show that it's not going to be for everyone, but if you give it a chance and you roll along with it, I feel like for the most part you're going to have a great time.
Yeah. Alright, the next one we're going to be looking at is Nekopara. And I gotta say, guys, when my friends learned that I watch Nekopara, that I like Nekopara, they make fun of me.
I mean, I only know about it through the memes about them being catgirls and all. So what else can I say?
Yeah. But let me explain what Nekopara is about, because I'm pretty sure even Ironzaku doesn't know what Nekopara is about. He just joins in the humor.
Again,
So,
that's all I know through the memes and nothing else.
so Nekopara evolves around our main character and his Nekos looking after a bakery cafe, which is which all the maids, are Nekos. So it's a cat cafe, a cat bakery cafe.
Oh, it's one of
And
those places then, isn't it?
yeah, but they've got actual Nekos. So they're girls with cat-like behavior, so they're very curious, and the voice is so sweet, and they just want cuddles. Anyway,
Lots and lots of cuddles.
yeah, but this is also an anime that I'm gonna find it difficult to explain because, like Hyperdimensional Neptunia, Nekopara is a gaming franchise sort of thing. You mainly see its main stories through visual novels. So, yes, Nekopara, if you really want to understand the characters, you're going to have to play the visual novels. Just like Hyperdimension Neptunia, Nekopara takes place after the visual novels. And again, Nekopara is a visual novel I want to play on Twitch and on YouTube and just enjoy the Neko-ness.
I mean, fair enough, but again, I'm gonna dust up a classic for this one. I've never seen Nekopara other than just knowing about it for the memes and stuff.
Yeah. I did try and watch Nekopara because I was hyped for it. I wanted to see the cat girls. I'm a cat girl lover. I love cats. I'm a cat person. I'm a part of a cat family. I wish I had cats, but I don't have cats because I'm not like cats where I live. But the cats are just so cuddly and cute. I love cats. So I tried, but I couldn't really get into it. This could be again because at the time I didn't play Nekopara. I do want to play it. I've got the game. I just need to eventually play it on Twitch and then eventually onto YouTube. But I did really enjoy. I did love watching these Nekos in action just to see what Nekos would be like because there's nothing magical about the world. They're just like our world, but with cat girls involved. And I just love the interaction. I love them working in the bakery, the cafe, whatever you want to call it. I really do love it, and I love the society with cat girls involved. So for this, I'm gonna be putting it like Neptunia into good. I do wish it was higher, but maybe like Hyperdimension Neptunia, it would go up once I start playing the games, start to feel more for the characters. Until then, it's in good, and I just really can't add anything else to it. The next one we're going to be looking at is Kämpfer.
And of course, we're going to continue on with more obscure stuff that I never heard of.
It's a mixed bag actually. It's obscure, but not obscure. Because I have seen this whenever I go shopping HMV, not only just in my local one but other ones, I see this Blu-ray all over the place. So again, it's obscure but not obscure. And what makes
somehow at the same time.
Yeah, it's probably got some light in recent years because it's recently got a dub as well. I think it was last year it got dubbed, and it's an anime that's got a late dubbed as well because I think it appeared in my late dubbed anime video. I talked about it. So yeah, let's go on with the plot. Kämpfer is about this guy who suddenly gets the power to transform into a super-powered girl.
So his power is just turning into a powerful girl.
Yeah. Eventually, he comes across other girls that can transform into more powerful women. Yeah. Eventually, they all team up and have to take on the big bad of the series, which is somehow linked to their interesting powers, alongside their guides, which are ugly plushies. Think of Fuglies but more ugly, who also worships the big bad.
Oh god.
Yeah, and that's literally the plot of Kämpfer.
I mean, sounds alright from what I've heard. But again, I know I'm repeating myself with a lot of these animes, but I just can't help but say I've never seen it.
Yeah. I might as well say that the dude that transforms into a girl is straight. So can you imagine his reaction suddenly waking up and see that he's transformed into a girl? He's so baffled, so in shock. He literally doesn't know how to react or even cope. And
Oh,
I might as well say the other girls that transform into superpowered women, their attitudes do a complete 180 as well. So when they transform, they're not the same person, even though they are the same person. So you could have a shy person turn into an aggressive person.
hmm. Quite the power, I say. Quite the power.
It's got a pretty good dubbing, I'd say. I do want to get it dubbed on DVD, but I just have to be careful because they do have the sub version released as well in stores. So you have to really make sure you're buying what you're buying if you want to get this anime dubbed.
Okay, so final discussion and thoughts on this one. Where's it going to be ranked?
Um, I I want to say while watching it, I was feeling a little bit uncomfortable watching it because I gotta say the main character in his girl form is pretty cute, but knowing it's a guy, it really messes with my head. I'm a straight guy. I don't know how to feel about that. So, but I really do enjoy. I did really enjoy the story. It got me laughing quite a bit. So I'm gonna put it into good. It's a pretty good story. I would rewatch it. I wouldn't watch it like a million times over, but I still say it's pretty good. And finally, guys, the last anime we're going to be looking at is Pokemon Chronicles.
And we end off with a property that I know again.
Property you know, but you probably have not seen Chronicles.
Truth be told, not that I can remember. So go ahead.
Well, Pokemon Chronicles is actually very unique. I think it's one of the first ever Pokemon anime that did not evolve around Ash. Because he's usually like the main character in a lot of Pokemon media, especially the mainstream ones. But Chronicles, it focuses all upon the side characters. So, for example, in the first 3 episodes, they're three-parters, evolves around anime versions of the Pokemon Gold, Crystal characters. Not Silver. He does not appear in that one. Taking on and saving the legendary Pokemon Raikou from Team Rocket. We then, in the next episode, see what happens to Brock when he goes to see his family after he separates from Ash and Misty after Johto. And the next one involves Misty after she leaves Brock and Ash after Johto. So and then we get a couple episodes to see what life is like for her as the gym leader. So it's quite interesting to see, actually. It's nice that we got to see an anime series evolve around the side characters, see their storylines, and not to have one just focused on Ash. I really do appreciate that because we don't often get side media for side characters that a lot of fans love.
But it's quite surprising for Pokemon, personally.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's a series as well. I wish could be adapted into a season 2. Maybe not like just keep giving us side media, but like a season for us Western fans where they can dub OVAs and just shove it into Pokemon Chronicles, because there's a lot of OVA episodes in Pokemon that have not been dubbed, but fans wish got dubbed. Like there's an OVA where Brock's younger brother becomes leader of the Pure City Gym, and we get to see him get tested to see if he's gym leader material. There's even OVA episodes where Ash's companions meet up with past companions, and we get to see them interact. I would love to have seen those episodes dubbed. I think a lot of fans would have loved to see that.
So, final thoughts then for this particular spin-off.
I'm gonna actually end it with one thing before ranking it. the entire box set for Pokemon Chronicles has only been released in the UK. So if you live in the UK, you can get all 4 volumes of Pokemon Chronicles. But if you're somewhere else, the only way you can watch it is online. So it's nice to see that Pokemon Chronicles' biggest accomplishment was in the UK, so to speak, since that's the only place you can get a DVD. And Pokemon Chronicles has made a big impact for me. It's one of my favourite Pokemon series, just because they really dove into side characters and made unique stories. So I'm going to put it in amazing. I love the Pokemon Chronicles series. I do wish it got a season 2. And hopefully in the future we can get more media. I think it's because of series like this. We've got like Pokemon Evolutions, which evolves around like the game's main characters. And I love those series as well. We even got Pokemon Evolutions, which evolve around Red and Blue, which is another series I like. So the Pokemon Chronicles to me is like the starting point for series like that, and I'm glad it was a huge success. And that's it for our anime tier list, guys. We've ranked these 15 very bit obscure anime, and I think we did a pretty good job explaining it and choosing these rankings. How do you feel, Ironzaku?
I mean, compared to the last tier list, I definitely had no idea what most of these were. So I hope I tried my best for that one.
If not, you've now learnt about a few obscure animes, which I think deserve more love. A lot of obscure anime definitely needs a bit more love, because they've only been like 12 episodes, 13 episodes long, and not a lot of people will know about them. But these obscure animes really are amazing. As much as I hate my anime list for giving me some very obscure ones, I'm happy they gave us some obscure ones. So maybe these ones can... Maybe someone will find these animes very interesting. I'm glad we got some of these into the light, so to speak. So before we end off, I gotta ask, is there any of these animes that you find interesting and would want to watch yourself?
I mean, I guess compared to everything we discussed, I would say the only one I'm interested in so far would be Isekai Quartet.
Just because it's like a crossover with Konosuba and the rest.
Yeah, at least with that one, I have pretty good knowledge of the characters from those animes and all.
Any others you find interesting, or are you just going to play it safe with that?
I mean, that's the only one I can think of, because all for the other ones. I mean, besides Ghost Stories, which I do know about as well in Kill la Kill, besides those 3, everything else, I'm not sure, truth be told.
You're scared, because considering what a lot of them are like. I can understand that.
Especially when we had our discussions for those happy fun times.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to try and trick him into watching Kiss Sis one day. I'll let you guys know what happens. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please leave a like and subscribe if you really enjoyed this video and you want more content like this. If you want more anime, go check out our previous anime tier list video. We've had a lot of fun. It's been a year since that last video did, and I can't believe how well we've done. And in total then, if you watch that one, including this one, you've got 40 anime in total recommendations. That's a lot. And hopefully we can do another tier list like this very soon. So if you want an anime you want us to talk about or rank, leave in the comment section below. Or if you want a certain theme, leave in the comment section below. I'll be sure to take all your feelings into consideration. So that's it for now, guys. I'm going to enjoy some Kiss Sis. So until next time, this is me signing out. Bye bye.